Hi, I'm Scott Campbell here at Solve 3D.
And I'm Kevin Miller at Solve 3D.
Kevin, we're looking at an image-only project here. I think it's from MX7. And one of the problems we see with image-only projects is, clearly there's no LiDAR behind in which to locate points or take measurements. That can be a bit of a problem, can't it?
That's correct. Yes, when you have image only projects, accurately trying to find a marker or a spot within your project can be problematic when you're trying to find a position of say, a utility pole. So what we have here is an example of a tag that was added, uh, image only project. You can see as I move around, this tag isn't quite on this utility pole. There might be one image where it looks really good, but as I move around,
Yeah, it's
clicking
jumping
around
around.
here, yeah, if I look around, you see it's on the left side of the pole. So it's jumping all around all over the place.
So I think you guys now have a solution as to how we can get points more accurate in image-only projects.
That's right. Yeah. So what we've introduced now, I'm just going to switch over to a different marker type so I can navigate. What we've introduced now is a concept which we call a multi-image measurement. So the idea is I'm going to be able to measure, I'll just jump down to the start of the road. I'm going to be able to measure a location using uh, two different perspectives of that location. And I'll show you a little demo here of how that works. So what we can do here, I'm going to go into the measurements tool. I'm going to click on a single point. And so say we just want to know where is the position of this utility pole. So I find a point here, say like this bottom of this pole. I'm going to click something that I can recognize, like this little seam of these two bands
That,
or whatever
that
these
little
are.
intersection there,
Yeah.
yeah.
And what happens as soon as I click, the second little floating window pops up. I can move around this window if I need to. If I need to position it again in a different way, I can also resize it, uh, you know, make it smaller. I can get the corner of it, be able to, make it smaller or bigger. And the idea is this little window is a second image from a different perspective. So by default, the system will automatically pick the next image in the track or trajectory of that vehicle. But if I can't quite see that same image, say it jumped me to a completely different part of the project, I can always cycle to the previous image or a different image to be able to find the same position. So what we do here in this image, we zoom in, find that exact same point I clicked, and click it again. And
And
what you see here,
that's where it's useful having something like that cross section there, right? It enables you to pick that position a little bit more accurately.
that's right, yeah. And you can see in the top left, as soon as I clicked here, there's a measurement or an estimated error level here. And, it's really small here, 0.04 of a foot. So we're talking fractions of an inch here. But if I clicked somewhere way off, from a different point, like this flag over here, you can see it now 0.4 of a foot off. So it's it's good to kind of click around and make sure your error is quite small. If it's in the green, it's usually pretty good. These two other numbers are just the distance away from the position of where the camera was towards that point. And what's happening here is it's basically triangulating from two different perspectives from these two images where this point that I selected. And once I'm finished, I just hit complete, and there we go. We now have a vertex at that location, and these are in the coordinates of that project.
So Kevin, now that you know where that point is more accurately, if we think back to that first problem that we showed when we started the video, you should be able to now drop a tag in this image and have that tag location in a much more accurate spot.
That's correct. Yeah. So you see, as I move around, this point is staying on where I said. So just as an example for a tag, say we want to know where this stop sign is, I can get out of measurement mode. I can just simply right click on the bottom of the stop sign, create new tag. And again, look around, it's jumped me to another image. I can zoom into that same pole, click around the same spot, make sure I'm happy with my error, really good.
So it's in the green,
0.01.
as we said before.
Yep.
If it's in the green, it's probably pretty good.
Yeah. Hit complete. And now it pops up my tag. So I can call this stop sign and add a description if I want. Maybe create a new folder called signs and hit submit. And boom, pops in my stop sign. And what can I do with that? Just like any other tag, under folders, I can manage all my tags. So here's my sign. I can right click on that, export that tag as a CSV. I can select a different projection if I want, hit export, and you can see, yeah, so we got a position of our sign with the, with the accurate information of where it is.
So now the other thing occurs to me as I look at this. So we know where that single point is, and we just showed, as you move to a different camera position, look, the tag is in the same place, not like the first tag we showed. But we must be able to do more accurate measurements now, like anywhere in the image. Like, could we do the height of that speed sign there?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we're not just limited to single point measurements. So, uh, it can do a standard line measurement just like before. So the key thing here now is that you have to measure more than one point. So you got to repeat this process that I've been doing multiple times. So say we want to know where the height of this sign is, I can just click here, click the bottom of the pole, find it again in here, gotta navigate around. Again, I'm on a different image. Click the same spot, you can see my error. And then instead of a complete button, I now have an add point button. So I click add point, and now this one's locked in. And so now I select a second measurement, maybe this little screw hole on the sign here. And again, in this picture, I can do the same thing. See my estimated error. Once I'm happy, I hit complete, and my kind of standard measurement appears here. And I'm at 6'7".
That's pretty cool. I mean, if you can live with the accuracy, which I think most people probably can, it means you can get some pretty accurate locations and measurements from an image only project.
That's correct. Yes.
Well, let me just quickly wrap this up to make sure that I understand. So, I mean, clearly in an image only project, there's no LiDAR, and so finding a location can be a bit problematic. But it seems like we have got a solution by taking two different observations from two different camera locations. We can now locate a point much more accurately, which means we don't have that tag jumping around like we did before. And it also means that we can do much more accurate measurements anywhere in the image. That's pretty cool. Okay, thanks, Kevin.
No problem.